voters are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
A bit earlier at about 7 a.m., a group from the Coast Guard.
Welcome to #P8Vote 2013.
Today on Rappler.
Everyone, I think we will find closure to the formal exploratory process very, very soon.
The government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front say they're close to a final peace agreement. Energy Regulation Chief Ducut says she will not resign after approving a steep power rate hike.
Even just a Facebook status post can lead to a libel suit. So I think that's one area where people are concerned.
And an intellectual property expert wants 4 problematic items in the Cybercrime Law taken down.
Hello, I'm Ayi Makaraig, sitting in for Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF, arrive at a deal on how power will be shared over the Bangsamoro waters. This leaves only one more annex to settle, the Normalization Annex, before the final peace pact aimed to end 4 decades of rebellion in Mindanao is signed. Under the Water Territories deal, local government units will keep their jurisdiction over municipal waters up to 15 kilometers from the coastline. Jurisdiction over waters beyond 15 kilometers up to 22 kilometers from the coastline will be exclusive to the proposed Bangsamoro government. This means those who want to fish or explore resources in the area would have to get permits from the Bangsamoro government. For water territories beyond 22 kilometers, the panel settled for a joint cooperation arrangement following the wealth-sharing deal signed in July 2013. With only one more annex left in the negotiations, MILF Chief Negotiator Mohaguer Iqbal and Government Peace Panel Chair Miriam Coronel Ferrer say they are optimistic that a final agreement is in sight.
Tayo magkagawa, pero kung kami lang, with the support of everyone, I think we will find closure to the formal exploratory process very, very soon, so that we can really focus on implementing.
The Annex on Normalization will set arrangements on how the MILF will decommission its firearms. The Normalization Annex and the deal on Bangsamoro waters are the last 2 documents to complement previous agreements on wealth sharing and power sharing. Iqbal says the peace agreement will ensure the Bangsamoro government will be inclusive.
The signed documents which the 2 parties have signed will speak for themselves, and it is really for the people, for everybody, especially those who are residing within the Bangsamoro. And the benefits would also redound to other people outside of the Bangsamoro, especially to the government, because if there is peace in Mindanao.
Energy Regulatory Head Zenaida Ducut is not quitting despite calls for President Aquino to fire her. Akbayan lawmakers Walden Bello and Barry Gutierrez filed a complaint against Ducut with Malacanang after she approved steep rate hikes for power distributor Meralco. The lawmakers said it was incompetence in protecting the interests of the power consumers. In a statement, Ducut says that in her 5 years as ERC boss, the agency has risen up through every challenge in the transition to an open and competitive electricity sector. The former Pampanga lawmaker and close ally of former President Gloria Arroyo says, "I will not abandon but will lead my people to what is proper and appropriate." Communications Secretary Sonny Coloma responds to the clamor for sanctions against Ducut, saying she may be suspended. But Malacanang qualifies its stance, saying it will only do so after due process. The palace earlier refused to consider the idea of removing her from the post. Ducut enjoys a fixed term and is an Arroyo appointee. Meralco rather justified its price hike, saying it was forced to buy more expensive power from the spot market following the maintenance shutdown of its primary supply source, the Malampaya plant. Critics say the rate hike is a result of collusion between Meralco and its suppliers and ERC's failure to hold a consultation. Ducut is also linked to the pork barrel scam and faces malversation charges before the Ombudsman. The Supreme Court temporarily stopped the implementation of the rate hike following petitions filed by various groups. Energy Secretary Jericho Petilla says electricity supply will be tight until 2016, but he adds there will be no power failure. In a Senate hearing into the power rate hike of Meralco Thursday, senators asked Petilla about reports the Philippines will suffer a power crisis in 2015. Petilla said new power plants will provide an additional 1,400 megawatts from now until 2016. He also said his department is looking at coal, geothermal, and liquefied natural gas as energy sources. Asked for a long-term plan to ensure stable power supply, Petilla told Senator Sonny Angara it will take 4 to 6 years to set up a power plant. Angara asked Petilla to submit a report on efforts to streamline and speed up the process. Senate Energy Committee Chairman Sergio Osmeña and Senator Pia Cayetano also noted the problem of environmentalists opposing power projects. Cayetano said, "I'm all for environmental protection, but it's about balancing." The Senate will resume its investigation into the pork barrel scam, this time focusing on the creation of fake non-governmental organizations or NGOs. Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chairman T.G. Gingona says the probe next week will focus on the registration, accreditation, and monitoring of NGOs dealing with government contracts. The committee also invited Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC Chair Teresita Herbosa to the hearing. The SEC has jurisdiction over all corporations and associations and grants licenses and permits. Gingona's panel is investigating the multi-billion peso scam where lawmakers allegedly endorsed fake NGOs of alleged mastermind Janet Lim Napoles in exchange for kickbacks. In past Senate hearings, whistleblowers testified that Napoles ordered her aides to set up NGOs with common incorporators and auditors in their SEC documents. The National Bureau of Investigation filed plunder complaints against 38 people, saying they violated procurement laws in awarding projects to NGOs without bidding. It adds the Napoles NGOs are not even shown as qualified to bid for government projects costing millions of pesos. The NBI says indicators of suspicious project implementation like overpricing, ghost beneficiaries, or non-delivery of the project were ignored. Intellectual property lawyer J.J. Disini, one of the petitioners against the cybercrime law, cites 4 problematic items in the law's current form. It's been a year since various groups petitioned against the controversial law, prompting the Supreme Court to temporarily stop its implementation. Disini calls for the decriminalization of libel because of the perils of double jeopardy.
Instances where even just a Facebook status post can lead to a libel suit. So I think that's one area where people are concerned. There's a freedom of expression issue. But other than that, there's also a provision for double liability in the Cybercrime Prevention Act. It says that even though you've been charged with libel under the revised penal code, you can be charged again for online libel under the Cybercrime Prevention Act, and then you will be charged. You're open to a greater liability in the Cybercrime Prevention Act. So it's double liability. So something like libel can get you as much as 10 years in jail.
Disini also says the law Section 19, or the so-called takedown clause, is unconstitutional.
And then, of course, the takedown clause, which even the Solicitor General did not want to defend and admits that it's unconstitutional, allows the Secretary of Justice to take down content upon a mere complaint.
Disini says the provisions on cybersex and identity theft are problematic.
And it seems to me that if both parties are consenting adults and they are engaged in a one-to-one how do you call that, interaction, right?
Yes.
Of that nature,
Yes.
why should it be
Only one.
Why should it be a criminal offense?
Since its order temporarily stopping the law, the Supreme Court has not yet issued a verdict. Disini says the best case scenario is to take out these 4 problematic provisions.
be lifted?
Yes, there's a separability clause. I
Okay.
think Senator Angara was quoted in a news article I think at the beginning of this week, saying that there is a separability clause. If one provision is considered invalid, then the rest that are not invalid will continue. So that's actually the approach that I've taken. I have 4 things that I'm concerned about. Strike those 4 down, and then let the rest through.
There's something else that did pass though, right? This Data Privacy Act.
Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 6, Miami police arrest singer Justin Bieber for drag racing and alleged driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs. Bieber was racing a yellow Lamborghini against singer friend Khalil Amir Sharif, who was also arrested Thursday. The pop star admitted taking alcohol and prescription drugs and smoking marijuana. At number 7, former National Security Agency contractor Edward Snowden says he is not returning to the United States until the law on whistleblowers is reformed. Snowden, who faces charges for leaking government surveillance data, says he's not expecting to get a fair trial because the U.S. Whistleblower Protection Act does not cover national security contractors. He adds the 100-year-old law under which I've been charged forbids a public interest defense. And at number 9, Oklahoma City scorer Kevin Durant and Miami star LeBron James complete the United States team for the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympics. Durant leads the NBA with 31 points a game, while James ranks second at 26.2. The two also played for the U.S. in the 2012 London Olympics. The roster features the NBA's 11 current top scorers, 7 of the NBA's top 11 rebounders, 2 assist leaders, and a blocked shot leader. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. World number 1 Rafael Nadal defeats Roger Federer to enter the Australian Open final. Nadal outlasts the 17-time Grand Slam champion in a semi-final that lasted for 2 hours and 24 minutes. Nadal will face Stanislas Wawrinka, who entered the finals after an upset win over defending champion Novak Djokovic. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page, which crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that got the most clicks. Let's look at the stories that made it to this week's top news. This piece from Shakira Season, The Salary Braggart, has 63% of readers feeling amused, 16% inspired. Aquino jokes about Napoles. 56% of people are amused, 21% happy. But a lot of our circles are still in red, which has been the case for the past days. Alcala used agri-funds for son's gubernatorial bid. 86% of people are angry, 6% happy. But the story that got the most votes is from our archives, which generated new interest after the privileged speech of Senator Bong Revilla, The Wealth of the Old Man Revilla. 74% of people are angry, 7% amused, all contributing to the mood of the day and the mood of the week. Most people are angry. That's Rappler's Newscast for today, Friday, January 24, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch your newscasts Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Ai Makaraigan, as we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.